Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GL Chapter 38, Section 18, and Governor Healy's March 29th, 2023 revised order extending remote participation by all members any meeting of a public body. This meeting of the Select Board will be conducted both in person via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information, general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and a requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town's website. Committee members and members of the public may attend this meeting in person or remotely. Instructions for remote access can be found at the top of the agenda. Every effort will be made to ensure those attending remotely can access the proceedings via real-time via technological means. Pursuant to MGL 7C 30A, Section 20F, after notifying the chair of the public body, any person may make a video or audio recording of an open session of a meeting of a public body or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Beginning of the meeting, the chair shall inform other attendees of any such recordings. These meetings are being recorded by Berkshire Edge, Berkshire Eagle, the town of Great Barrington, and CTSB. Any member of the public wishing to speak at the meeting must receive permission of the chair. The listing of agenda items are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed. Other items not listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. Select Board's announcement statements. Ben.
Just wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone. It's our first New Year for thinking about the mark. So welcome, Chris, in the new position. We've got a lot of work to do this year, so I'm excited to get to it.
Yes, Garfield.
I say something for Joe, I guess, and I tried to get a hold of you, but couldn't reach it. The warming areas, are they up and running, and do we have a way of letting people know that where they are?
Where's?
We'll get back to Garfield,
Okay,
if that's okay.
Yeah.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Nothing for me. Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from December 2nd, 2024 and December 19th as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Public hearings. First one is an application for amendments to a liquor license, transfer of license and change of location. MOD Inc. to Taft Farms Inc., 119 Park Street, North, Great Barrington, Mass. A motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for the Taft Farms.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's a roll call vote. Ben. Garfield.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
And I. Is someone here from representing Taft Farms? Joe, can you bring up the mic and then? Sorry. I think we neglected to do that. I think it was any other duties in the job description of the town manager. Yeah, it's more for the Zoom. So, although we know you, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the project.
My name is Paul Pazynski. I'm the son of Daniel Pazynski, owner of Taft Farms, and I'm here to represent Taft Farms as my father is recovering from surgery at this moment. The project entails us expanding our offerings at the store. Over the past 5 years, we've made several major renovations, expanding the offerings in the store as well as the infrastructure in the store. We were approached by Mary Dare after the Price Chopper permits of last year. We were actually on the waiting list for that permit when Dare Bottle Shop closed up their pop-up. She actually officially closed in December of this year, but she approached us in August offering us the license. We obviously agreed to pursue it. That's why we're here today. So what we're wanting to do is to be able to expand into not becoming a liquor store, not becoming anything major. What we'd like to do is offer farm-made products, whether it be local or organic, but specifically farm-made beer, wine, ciders, to further highlight what agriculture has to offer as far as the alcohol industry. As far as a business is concerned, the number one question we get asked all season long is, do you sell wine? Do you sell beer? And it's no secret, we have a very large Tanglewood crowd. There are times that people just want to make one stop and head into town. We're not looking to take business away from anybody. We've got the support. First thing I did is I reached out to just about every other shop in town and said, this is what we'd like to do. And I can't speak for them here, but I know that we have the support of a number of other places in town. So that's where we're at. Guys have any questions?
Well, we will get to questions, sure. Any public comments to speak in favor or opposition? Seeing none. Questions from the select board? I can start it off. We'd be remiss because we went through the whole price dropper thing. Just talk a little bit about security, IDs and all that, what you're gonna change so that you make sure that everyone is above board and.
As far as security is concerned, we actually just installed, we had Lee Audio and Video come in, install a whole state-of-the-art security system throughout the entire premises. Outdoors, indoors, greenhouse, coolers, the whole 9 yards. New locks on all the doors, including exterior doors to the greenhouse. So as far as the infrastructure, that's in place. We're currently right now in conversation with Greta POS systems to install new POS with an integrated ID scanning system. So we will streamline that process so that whenever there is a transaction that includes any UPC scan, it's going to prompt to take an ID. It's going to ask for an ID before you can even complete the transaction. So there will be no questions asked. As soon as any alcohol purchase is on the POS system on the receipt, you won't be able to complete that transaction without a valid ID scan. So we're pretty excited about that. Actually, my sister, Jennifer, is a professor of beverage at Johnson and Wales University, and she is a certified instructor when it comes to training staff on how to sell alcohol. That's actually a part of her job. She's contracted out to do staff training, and she'll be coming on board to help us with that as well.
Great. Other questions?
Yeah, with the general layout of your store, do you see like a certain corner or where do you see all the product going?
So for all of you, I would assume you've all been in the store and know where it is. The back corner where our office used to be. So the new line of coolers that is in the store, there's a back wall. And we have 2 security cameras on that. So what our plan is to put in a open air merchandiser on that wall so that it can be vented right out to the outdoors. Again, both cameras focus right in on that cooler. So it'll have passive and monitored security. And also by having it there, we'll be able to have a pull down security screen for after hours so that the only alcohol sales in the store will be secured, not just by the locks on the door, but locks on the cooler in the evening.
Other questions?
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Garfield.
I like the idea.
Garfield, are you recusing yourself on this one? Just want to ask because I don't.
And
Okay, go right ahead then.
I just want to know, like, since you mentioned you'll have a screen, you'll have some, obviously it'll be a locked up area on Sundays, I guess, or early before it's open.
Yeah,
it'll be
correct.
Locked, and how many people have access to that?
So currently, right now, the access would be myself, Samantha, who's our store manager, and then would be my parents and Penny Curry, our business manager, would be the only people that would have a key to that cooler. As far as the cooler and storage area in the back, we have a separate location that would be for alcohol storage that only myself and Samantha would have keys for.
Anyone else? Okay, motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Roll call vote, Ben.
Aye.
Garfield.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
And I. Select Board, any discussion?
Yeah, no, I like the idea of this going in there, Paul. Any small business, the whole farming aspect that you brought up. I think this fits your store well. Like you said, it's only in that one small back section there. It's not like you're opening up a superstore. So this is where I would like to see these sort of liquor permits, alcohol permits going, and sounds like you have it very well thought out and security has already been addressed.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the liquor license transfer and change of location, MOD Inc. to Taft Farms Inc., 119 Park Street North, Great Barrington, Mass.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, Ben.
Aye.
Garfield.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
And I, it's unanimous. Good luck to you.
Good luck.
Next, we have an application for a driveway permit at 228 Easton Humphrey Street. If you, everything, you don't have to, but if you have anything you want to say, okay. Do I have a motion for this?
I make a motion to approve the application for driveway permit at 228 East and Humphrey Street, Great Barrington, Mass, with conditions attached from DPW.
Have you seen this?
and the Fire chief.
Great. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Simple as that. Good luck to you. Next is a request from the Library Board of Trustees to add an inclement weather date of Sunday, January 19th from 4 to 9 p.m. for their previously approved event for the Love of Libraries at Ramsdale Library, 1087 Main Street, in Housatonic. Do I have a motion?
So moved,
Be waived.
be waived, yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Next is just a slight modification to host a community agreement for OBCC LLC at 82 Railroad Street. It's a modification of the time to commence use and occupancy. Come on, right up. Introduce yourself.
Hi, Jason Davis, owner of 82 Railroad Street. Actually appeared before this board November 18th. We voted to renew our host community agreement. I just wanted to get some clarification as far as the condition that we spoke about that day. On the board said that they want the property, as do we, to kind of be up and ready sooner than later. It's in everyone's best interest to get the business activated there. And we were just expecting the clock to start on the effective date, i.e. the date that we signed the HCA. We began reaching out to Great Barrington to get the fresh HCA, I want to say in May of 2024. We finally got on the agenda in November. When it was voted unanimously in favor, we received a copy of the HCA in late December. It had some errors in it. I sent it back to the town and then received it back ready to execute, thinking the date that I signed it is when the clock started. We just want to get some clarification around that, but really request that the effective date be the date that we actually execute the document, which we're willing and ready to do. Just want to get some clarification on that because we're a bit confused. We didn't think that the clock was running while we were waiting for the town to actually get us the document.
So in this agreement, it says inspect post provisional license inspection by July 31st, 2025.
Correct.
Is that what you want, or is that what was in the agreement?
Well, what we had said verbally was we think, we could be ready in 8 months and we can stick to that. We just thought that 8 months would start when we signed the doc.
Okay.
Just because we were kind of waiting for the town to just deliver the doc.
So is the document, as far as you're concerned, ready to be signed?
Yes, absolutely.
So-
Yeah, I just reached back to the town and said, can you clarify what the effective date is? Is it the date that we vote or is it the date that?
Yeah, we probably didn't leave that clear enough. So if we voted to start the clock tonight,
Mhm.
that would be to your,
Yeah, that's okay with me.
and then, so you have 8 months from tonight
Yeah.
to get,
And yes, and I would just request just some good faith language if there's any, as long as we're putting good faith, we have a demonstrable, progress. that possibly there's a mutual option to extend if some force majeure should solve it.
You can always come back to us to
Okay,
revisit.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that, pretty fine. So do I have a motion to start the clock today for the 8 months that we talked about?
So much.
I'm sorry, you can go. I just had a couple of things.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just noticed also in the HCA that there's a lot of language around cooperation with the town, which I like.
Yeah.
And some of it's around education. One of the tenets was that we will put forth a good faith effort to help assist the town in education. But I'm ready to do that now. It's something that I do. I used to be an educator and I actually volunteer to teach at small colleges around cannabis safety. So I'm down to start doing that sooner than later.
Okay,
And
that's
then there's
great.
just a point of contact I can talk to on that.
Well, right now it'd be Chris Rumbold.
Well, welcome to the table.
Yes.
You're in touch with Natalie, so that's good.
Yes, okay. Yeah, so that's all I had.
Okay, great. So do I have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to amend the host agreement to start the 8 months as of today.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you very much for coming. Okay, next is a request from W.B. Du Bois Legacy Committee to install banners on light poles on Main Street, which they do every year from St. James Place to Dresser Avenue during the months of January and February 2025. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the request from the W.E.B. Du Bois Legacy Committee to install banners on light poles on Main Street from St. James Place to Dresser Ave during the months of January and February 2025, subject to receipt of permission from National Grid for use of poles.
I have a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Citizen speak time. Either raise your hand if you're remote or come right up, Charlie.
I just wanted to come down and say a few things about my taxes. So I wanted to start off with that. I am first generation immigrants that came to this country. My father came over here as a single man. He sponsored to work at a farm. He didn't get paid. He had room and board. That's what he got paid. He came over here in 1936. He sent for the woman he knew over in Scotland, my mother. She came over. She was also sponsored at the same farm. No pay, just room and board. And with that saying, they had no handout. Everything they got, they worked for. So my taxes here, they just went up 12.2% from last year. What you're doing, you're really hurting the older people that live here, the locals. You're driving the locals out. I'm one of the locals. I'm not ready to leave, but if I could, I would. So my question is to the town. We do know that we got like 3 bad bridges in town. And when we do get to do them, they're gonna be about $20 million each. So we're gonna be talking $60 million. So we know our taxes are going down. And then you're talking about a school and whatever else. I've been at the annual town meetings to scrutinize your budget, hold them, doesn't work. So I've asked on Zoom meetings, and I've asked at the annual town meeting. I would like to get something in writing from the town, from the finance department. What are we paying for this sanctuary town for illegal being here on room, board, clothing, whatever you want to figure out, whatever's in there. I'd like to know how much we're spending on that. And also, I'd like to know how many students we're paying for. Let's get $25,000 for educating a student up at our school. What are we paying for that on illegal?
So just to correct, the town isn't paying anything. I would check with the superintendent. I would just ask Dr. Gill that question. The town is not paying anything.
Well, that goes along with the same thing with Dr. Dillon up there. And over the years, I'm sick and tired of this school choice. It's time to cut back and save money. I know he says we like to have classrooms filled. We have on the average, every year, 70 school choice that we spend over $20,000 for. We get like a little over $5,000 from the towns to send these kids in. But that extra $20,000 for 70 students, we're paying the lion's share. We're paying about 70% for that. All I'm asking is look over your budget. I know you look over, but 12.2% is double digits. It's getting a little bit hard. I'll just let you know, I just retired 20 years ago. I retired 2005. When I retire at the rate when I go out the door, 2005. 20 years later, I don't make any more. And when you say Uncle Sam did my Social Security, well, if he gives me a 2.5% raise, he always gives me a 3% bill from a Medicare. So I don't go up, I go down every year. I hate to see what the next 20 years look like. That's all I'm saying.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. Anyone else? Got one hand now. Jim Bailey, go right ahead. Just state your name and address for the record.
Jim Bailey from Housatonic. Gentlemen, first I just need to adamantly oppose the purchase of Housatonic Waterworks in the condition it is in. I think we got screwed on a dump years ago. We're going to get screwed again. So until I believe we exhaust all means, or Freddie exhausts all means, as far as state, local, federal grants, I don't think the town should purchase a water system until it's correct. Secondly, I was extremely disappointed or upset to find out that the town is once again in the real estate agents or real estate market. When I learned that Chris Rembold had signed into the Berkshire Registry of Deeds or Southern Berkshire Registry of Deeds a purchase sale agreement with Natural Berkshire Resources for the Rising Ball Field, that's disgusting. What I would like to understand, and I hope that all four of you can help me here, understand how a board that is appointed, they're not elected from the people, by the people, for the people, they're appointed, has that much authority. I understand that the town has the final say at town meeting, but their suggestion of the purchase goes a long way with a lot of people. And as Charlie stated, it's not getting easier. Thirdly, CPA. I want each and every one of you, please, to look into CPA. I want to know when the town adopted CPA, I know, but I want each and every one of you to find out what the percentage the state of Massachusetts was agreed to pay us dollar for dollar. Was it 100%? And another thing that needs to be stated is that each one of these CPA votes, what is the state reimbursing us for those CPA funds? Because I think it's ridiculous that 18%, are any of you aware that in fiscal 25, the state of Massachusetts paid just over 18%? And if you understood what the town approved CPA based on the funding reimbursement from the state, that's ridiculous. Not only is it ridiculous, somebody ought to look into the legality of it. let's just put it this way, and I'm just shooting from the hip here with numbers. Let's say the average CPA tax, because that's what it is, on the average tax bill is $500. $500 out of each and every residence. Now, Charlie just explained that he's in a tough position. Taxes just keep going up. If we remove that $500, that's $500 that people can have towards a fuel bill, electric bills. We're using $500 to feed people's little pet projects. And I include affordable housing in pet projects. That is nothing but a waste of taxpayers' money. You want to help the people? You want to have people afford to live here? Remove that CPA, that $500 on the average. Remove it, or be honest with the people. You can't sit there and go to a gas station, fill up a full tank of gas, pay for 100% of a full tank, and only actually receive 18%. That's robbery. I want each and every one of you today, or when you have a moment, I want you to respond to me what you find out that the town, the taxpayers, the voters approved CPA under. What was the guise it was approved under? Was it on 100% dollar for dollar match? 52%? It sure wasn't 18%. We're paying 3%. Oh, but it's only 3% on after the first 100,000. Yeah, that would have been great in 2012 when your house was $200,000. Now that your house is $500,000, that makes a big difference. We need to get spending under control. Otherwise, you're going to spend everybody out of this town. CPA funding lately has been nothing but funding pet projects. When we're funding developers to
Jim, just wrap it up. Your time's way over.
I think you get it. You get the point.
Thank you, Jim.
CPA needs to be looked into, and I would hope that any board or any committee with that kind of authority as Affordable Housing Trust turns into an elected position. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Charlie, you don't get to speak once.
I know, but I didn't get an assurance that you're going to give me something from the finance committee.
Well, we can't give you anything from the finance committee. The finance committee has to do that.
Well, you're expecting
They're meeting tomorrow night.
I'm
So-
not looking at what we're paying for illegal.
We're not paying anything for illegals.
What I mean, they're staying in the motel.
We're not paying for that. It's all state money. What?
It's not my money, I guess.
Well, I didn't say that, but I don't have those figures. But the answer is we're not paying, as a town, we're not paying anything.
Well, okay.
Hi, Michelle Bear, 70 Division Street. Just because the conversation is regarding our tax bills, I got my tax bill as well, and it went up a few $100s for just the first quarter. And what Charlie was saying about I'm nearing retirement age. My husband's a little younger than me. So I'm looking at Social Security. I spent half of my career in the private sector and the other half in the public sector. And it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. There's no way I can retire right now. And we have healthy retirement accounts with the cost of living in Great Barrington. My father's family came over from Sicily, on my mother's side, Austria and Ireland. And my dad built many of the buildings here in Great Barrington. He was a bricklayer from Agadini and Son. He built the house I live in now, and it's really gonna be sad if I have to sell it. And the fact that I have a turnpike in the front of my house and a railroad dumping yard in the back, it's just, for lack of a better word, sucks right now. So the town does have to get a grip on its spending. Your budget season's coming up, but a bone of contention with me is the CPA. Because I don't like what I'm seeing with it. I've sat in meetings, I don't like it. It's a tax on a tax, any way you look at it. Additionally, and I'm going to be blunt about it, giving tax dollars to active church congregations, I don't like that as well. I'm not saying the town's violating any law, but that's my personal opinion. But right now, I just want to talk about, a housing complex in Great Barrington, where the rents went up a lot, and that's Beach Street Commons. Not many of the people who live at Beach Street Commons have lived there for years and years. They've worked in many of our businesses, still do. I know one person down there who actually worked for your business.
Mhm.
And it's really sad to see that that's a real community down there. When I go down there and I'm walking through the parking lot, people are asking, it's no secret, my sister has stage 4 cancer. She's going to Brigham's on Wednesday for major surgery. But she gets a letter in the mail, her rent's going up to $350 a month, on top of everything else. So she said if the cancer doesn't kill her, the stress from not being able to afford a roof over her head will. So, you know, we are paying, we're contributing to a lot of new affordable housing. How are we going to help people like those people down there who have been working in our community for years and years and years, related to many of our neighbors, myself included? And there just doesn't seem to be any empathy for those people. Yeah, we build housing complexes and people come in from all over and settle in them. So how about we help some of the people who have helped this town? And so I know Mr. Reed is on the Affordable Housing Trust. I'm requesting that he would put the topic on an agenda of the Affordable Housing Trust, at least for a discussion, because you have people hurting in this town. And like I said, Main Street, Great Barrington's just great, Railroad Street's great, but you gotta look around and look around. You have people hurting. And as town leaders, you need to be aware of this. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Eileen?
Hi, I have a very simple question. Who was the first speaker? I didn't hear his name. I think it was Charlie Williamson.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, it was Charlie Williamson.
thank you.
You're welcome. Seeing no other speakers or citizens speak. Select board time. Ben? Garfield.
I don't know if I can speak to what Michelle said.
It's not on the agenda, so, but
Okay.
you can, if you'd like to give a very short answer, that's fine, but
Well, my short answer is I'm pretty much in the same boat. And I'll come out and say, I probably make the least amount of money of anyone on this board, probably most of the darn people in town. So I have to deal with two, I'm not excited about it at all. I'm not sure of the way to get to everything, but I do know affordable housing is important. Especially in this town, not back away from it. I think it's needed. The CPA is another story. I voted to them myself. But I get it.
But you own your home.
I do own my home. but
There
I
you go.
work
There's a big
hard
difference.
for it.
Can I make a
Really.
comment?
okay, no, citizens, we're gonna continue moving on here. Eric,
I have nothing to say at this time.
I have nothing. Media time. Saying nothing, we have 3 motions. First one, and these are going into executive session, not to return to open session. Executive session under MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A6, for the following purpose: to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate regarding Housatonic Waterworks. The chair will declare that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body. Do I have the first motion?
So moved.
No, there's a,
This one, okay.
it's on the agenda. Yeah, it's this one right there.
Anticipated motion.
Yeah.
Move that the board meet in executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A6, for the following purpose: to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate regarding Housatonic Waterworks, because of an open discussion may have a detrimental effect on the negotiation positioning of the town, of the board and of the town.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Ben? Garfield?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
And I. Next is an executive session under MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A3 to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation. If an open meeting may have a detrimental effect. If an open session may have a detrimental effect. Let's see. On the bargaining or litigating position of the public body. And the chair does declare that. So the motion, please.
Move that the board meet in executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A3 for the following purpose: to discuss strategy with respect to litigation against the town concerning hosted community agreements for marijuana establishments. Theory Wellness, Community Growth Partners, Rebel, High Minded LLC, Farnsworth, Middlesex Superior Court Civil Action Number 2481 CV 00693. Because of an open discussion may have a detrimental effect on the litigation position of the board and the town.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Ben? Garfield?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
And I. Third and final is an executive session under MGL 30A, Section 1A3 for the following purpose: to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares, which I do. And do I have the motion?
Motion, move that the board meet in executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A3 for the following purpose: to discuss strategy with respect to litigation, Housatonic Waterworks Company, rate increase, petition to the Department of Public Utilities, DPU number 2365, and the town's appeal to the Supreme Court. Town of Great Barrington, ETLV, Department of Public Utilities, case number SJ 2024-0312.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's a roll call vote. Ben? Garfield?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
And I. Those are the three, and we are public hearing, the public meeting is adjourned. We will not return to open session.